And also personally donated at least $281,000 to Republicans in Florida and across the country. This includes to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The governor says he's returning their $50,000 campaign donation. And on Monday this week, pictures and some video surfaced showing DeSantis with Parnas at his election night party last November. This week, also, a fourth man was arrested in this case. David Correa lives in Palm Beach Gardens in Palm Beach County. He's a business partner with Parnas and is accused of working to funnel foreign money to U.S. political campaigns.
There are lots of tentacles to this story and the Florida connection to the impeachment inquiry involving the president and actors in Ukraine.
Interesting is because Florida was not mentioned in the initial indictment of Parnas and Fruman that came out of New York, whereas other states that they were involved in, like Nevada, were. So everything that we know so far has really just been coming out piece by piece in media reports. And so what we do know is, like you said, that they donated $50,000 to Ron DeSantis' campaign that came through this kind of shady Delaware corporation that in the indictment was said to have been funneling money from overseas, which is illegal. They also lobbied a Florida congressman, or now a former Florida congressman, Carlos Cubello from Miami, about getting into Florida's emerging medical marijuana industry. And that's an important point because we've been trying to figure out their motivation and their interest in Florida. And the Miami Herald reported earlier this week that they had also been seeking to get a license or invest in Florida's medical marijuana industry as a clue as to what they were financially trying to get at here. But there's still a lot that we're still reporting on and a lot still to learn.
Yeah, there's some evidence that they were interested in the marijuana industry in Nevada as well as here in Florida, Emily. How would you describe their business dealings in Florida? What kind of business were they in?
Well, they had, at least Parnas had co-founded a business down in Boca Raton that was supposed to help investors be protected against scams. It was called Fraud Guarantee. They, just recently in the New York court hearings, the prosecutors revealed that they are looking at 50 bank accounts. They were said to have set up a lot of different companies. So it's hard to kind of define that under one umbrella, but they certainly had a lot going on. They left kind of a trail of lawsuits behind, of jilted business partners and things like that. So there was a lot of money moving around. The sources are unclear, but based on the indictment, we believe that some of it was coming from an unidentified foreign national who was probably Russian. Right. Well, and I think that's a really central question. I mean, nobody donates this kind of money just out of pure altruism, right? Everybody has something that they're looking for. And so the question here has been, what were they looking for and what kind of access were they trying to get, and did they get it? And one of the things that has struck me about this so far, like you said, they were hugging the governor at the election night party, but they were also clearly standing in the way of the TV cameras when Governor DeSantis was answering questions from reporters on election night about his victory. So on one hand, DeSantis has his answers about this have kind of evolved from first saying that there was no relationship with them at all. As to 2 days ago, he said that he did know Parnas and that he was just a normal donor, that he saw at a lot of Trump events. But on the other hand, I think it's also important to acknowledge that these men appear to have been seeking to cultivate the image that they were well connected, and they were clearly trying to be seen with the governor in many different ways, both in fundraisers and at this election night party. So it's a question of how much of this was just them cultivating that image because it helped them perhaps profit on that access and selling that access, and how much access did they actually get.